Watch out for that first step. It's a doozy.
Groundhog Day is about a disgruntled weatherman,
Well, it's Groundhog Day.
Phil Connors,
Again?
who is forced to relive the same day
Am I right or am I right?
over
Am I right?
and over.
Am I right?
Phil goes through some of the same phases that we all go through in life. He is at first lost in this new world
Didn't we do this yesterday?
and trying to get his feet under him, so to speak.
Excuse me? Where's everybody going?
To Gobbler's Knob. It's Groundhog Day.
But once he learns to walk,
It's still just once a year, isn't it?
he moves into a more adolescent approach to life.
We could do whatever we wanted.
We could do whatever we want.
Eventually, he has a midlife crisis
I'm worried. I think there's something really wrong with Phil.
and even attempts to kill himself over and over and over.
He might be okay. Well, no, probably not now.
Phil's apparent immortality then goes to his head.
I'm a god.
You're God.
I'm a god. I'm not the god. I don't think.
Special today is blueberry waffles.
You're not a god. You can take my word for it. This is 12 years of Catholic school talking.
I could come back if you're not ready.
How do you know I'm not a god?
Oh, please.
How do you know?
Because it's not possible.
He uses his seemingly godlike powers to try and manipulate people
Nancy Taylor!
and get what he wants. But if he is a god, he is very limited in what he can do and where he can go.
What's going on?
Don't you listen to the weather. We got a major storm here.
I make the weather.
Puny god.
Once again, the eyes of the nation have turned here to this
On a side note,
tiny village in western Pennsylvania. Blah, 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 blah.
why is it that Pennsylvania is often portrayed as a sort of purgatory,
Ever going to end?
a place to send characters when you want them to be miserable?
I've been from Chicago to Paris to Dallas to... Where the hell am I?
Scranton.
They call it Scranton. What? The Electric City. Scranton. What? The
Every morning, Phil wakes up to the same song. I Got You, Babe, by Sonny and Cher. The filmmakers could have chosen any song for this, and I have often thought that they chose this song because they felt it would be annoyingly funny on repeat. Which it is. But if you listen to the words, there may be another reason for choosing this song. Sometimes, when we first wake up in the morning, we have thoughts or ideas of things that we could do to change or improve our life. Here, Phil is being told to put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain we can't climb. Could this be a representation of the voice of God, telling Phil to put his comparatively little hand in God's hand, and together they can overcome his
Out in
obstacles?
California, they're going to have some warm weather tomorrow, gang wars, and some very overpriced real estate.
The reason Groundhog Day resonates with so many people is not the strangeness of the time loop situation,
What would you do if you were stuck in one place and every day was exactly the same and nothing that you did mattered?
but with the familiarity of it.
That about sums it up for me.
Life, in a way, is like Groundhog Day.
I think we should meet again. How's tomorrow for you?
We are seemingly stuck in our jobs and in our lives, repeating what feels like the same day over and over. Sometimes it feels that nothing we do seems to make much difference or influence others all that much.
Nuts.
We want to blame the universe and everyone in it for our problems, until eventually we learn that we have been going about everything the wrong way. We can change the world, but only through improving ourselves. Each day of life is a gift. It is another chance, a new opportunity. Phil can remain miserable and self-centered for eternity,
Phil Connors.
Ned?
or he can take God's hand and be lifted to a higher plane, a place of service, of purpose, and love.
It's hard down there at the bottom.
you go.
Thank you.
The mind is its own place and in itself can make a heaven of hell, a hell of heaven. John Milton.
Yet we know that winter is just another step in the cycle of life. But standing here among the people of Punxsutawney and basking in the warmth of their hearths and hearts, I couldn't imagine a better fate than a long and lustrous winter.
There's discussion as to what the day of the movie was going to be.
In Danny Rubin's original script, when Danny and I talked about it, Danny imagined him living this day over and over for thousands of years. He goes from being a prisoner of that time and place to being master of that time and place.
It's not about being the hero of the town. It's about doing what you can do in the moment to make things better instead of making things worse. If other people interpret that as you being the god of the town, which in a way he becomes, so be it. But that isn't his aim.
I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe.
Phil eventually learns that he is not a god.
Only God can make a tree.
And a lot of that realization comes from his interactions with Rita, the woman he loves.
What, you don't like poetry?
Rita is a genuinely good person. She is the opposite of Phil, who is naturally selfish and cynical.
You think I'm acting like this because I'm egocentric?
I know you're egocentric. It's your defining characteristic.
One of the biggest realizations that Phil makes throughout the movie
You know I can't stay with you.
is just how virtuous
Why
of a
not?
person Rita is in any situation that he puts her in. There is nothing as baffling to one who is full of tricks and duplicity as straightforward, simple honesty in another. It sets him in a war with himself, with his conscience. Stephen Covey. Rita could be seen somewhat as representing God. She is unchanging in her values.
It's beautiful.
And rejects Phil when he is acting in his own self-interests.
How did you do that?
She is who he
I
is
know
trying
your
to prove
face so
himself
well.
to.
I could have done it with my eyes closed.
Groundhog Day teaches us that being godlike is more than just being all-knowing,
It's Alice. Came over here from Ireland when she was a baby. She lived in Erie most of her life.
or even that you are immortal.
I have been stabbed, shot, poisoned, frozen, hung, electrocuted, and burned.
It is about taking other people's little hands in ours
It's Ned Ryerson. He's my new insurance agent.
and lifting and assisting them over the hills and mountains they face.
Skim milk.
Only when Phil stops trying to trick and manipulate people
Larry, what do you think?
and begins to care more about others than he does himself
Let's go for it.
is he able to find purpose, happiness, and love.
I think you're the kindest, sweetest, prettiest person I've ever met in my life. I've never seen anyone that's nicer to people than you are.
Which results in him finally breaking out of his time loop.
Is there anything I can do for you today?
And that is the moral of this story.